Jaden sent me a really incredible article about the Anne with an E stands. I think anyone who's been involved in like any sort of Netflix TV show standom has probably come across the Anne with an E stands. So a really wonderful show based on a beloved book. Actually, I say really wonderful show. I never watched it.
I watched one episode and honestly I didn't like it.
Oh no.
I didn't really like it either.
It seemed to be a nice show. I like the concept because I like Anne of Green Gables. But it got canceled. Fans were really upset. If you see anything that Netflix has put out since and you go into the comments, you will probably see people organizing underneath for Anne with an E. So Jaden sent me this really incredible article, and I think this kind of speaks to why we're seeing the increasing politicization of art and the way that people have begun to organize behind a show as a replacement of organizing behind kind of political goals. And the way that people were organizing behind Anne was kind of adopting very political language. Fans were spamming the CBC. I think at some point the moderators blocked Anne with an E from like comments, and the response from fans was, "You are infringing on our right to free speech."
Interesting.
Like it's censorship.
Wow. Which I would say, if you are commenting in amongst the real world, no one is going to block you from talking about Anne with an E. But I think it's interesting that a platform choosing to limit discussion on a certain topic because it is literally becoming so overwhelming that they cannot engage in their other endeavors. It's interesting to see that the language of censorship being kind of thrown into the ring there.
Just to give you an idea of like the scope, by the end of July following the cancellation, they also fundraised to place billboards at Times Square and at Young Dundas Square, which would be very expensive to do. And yeah, a lot of the language was like fighting for what's right, like invoking this kind of like political, like very personal, like social justice rhetoric.
That's actually a point that's brought up in one of probably the best video essays that I watched on Standem, which was by a creator called Intellectual Media. Shout out to her. It was a really, really good video, really well edited as well, and like very engaging. So if anyone wants, look up her content. She was really good. So her video kind of focuses more on like Standem of celebrities and less so content specifically.
Yeah.
But she looks at kind of the way that like gossip functions in our society, and it is a really great way to, you build social bonds with people. It's a way of engaging and dissecting concepts and ideas in a very low stakes environment.
Yes, exactly. Low stakes is a great way of...
Yeah, it's a really low stakes environment, and it's also a really good gateway to discuss kind of like, oh, okay, so Paris Hilton is engaging with NFTs, and that opened up our conversation a bit more into like, what is the blockchain? What is this, if we were doing a deeper dive into NFTs, which I'm not interested in, but you can go into the ethics of like, what's the environmental impact, all by kind of just looking at Paris Hilton hawked NFTs on Jimmy Fallon's show.